Good evening, Horn. Golly, guys, I can't talk. You hear that already? Y'all are making me nervous. All these little heads on the screen. I'm not used to this. It's usually like 2 or 3. Horns forward. What's up to the party, guys?
We're getting it up right
you 100% just glitched out there. All we saw was your hands.
Yeah, that's cool though. It blended into the logo.
It is all good.
Yeah.
Check out the shirt. While we're on you, Jorge, I like your shirt, man.
This here is a shirt from the official new supplier of the UFL, Breaking Tees. This was on the Breaking Tees website. It just arrived today, so it was perfect timing for it. And every team has their own little specialty like shirt outside of what you see on the UFL shop. And if you go to the Breaking Tees website, you can see them there. And I found this one. I was like, yo, I like that one. And boom, me and my wife both got one now.
Nice. Looks like it came in fast then, in that case.
Yeah, it was maybe about a week and a half or so.
I think I get mine this week.
We should have all kinds of good merch dropping soon, I hope. Mine, Lanta. Right now it's kind of slim to none in my opinion. But hopefully we get better stuff going.
They're saying, a couple of some of the ticket reps are saying that new merch is going to be added soon. So,
yeah, I know. At least on the Brahmas page earlier this week, they had 2 hats, but they didn't have an image, and they said sold out, and then they took them down. So there's hats coming, y'all. So
maybe.
Well, welcome in officially again, guys. Sorry I screwed the pooch there at first. I see everybody, like I said, smiling at me. I don't know where to put my eyes right now. I'm just looking at
them. We're free form. We're used to just going with the flow, baby. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Just go where it takes.
The amount of hiccups that we have on a pod basis is like insane.
Just don't look at Jay too much. You'll end up cross-eyed. So
opportunities.
Like Medusa.
Brian just mad because everybody makes fun of him for being an eggplant emoji.
You got to have some logo, I guess. Some representation,
right.
Sir.
Right.
Oh, you guys doing well tonight? It's great to have you, man. It's weird seeing you on my show, but I really enjoy it. I've been waiting for this for a while, honestly. I've been wanting to either get on your show or you come on mine, so it's cool to have you on. We are missing DJ, but all good in the hood. I'm glad we got the crew that we got tonight.
Yes, sir. We're excited to be here, man.
Y'all doing well over there in San Antonio?
Yeah.
Pretty much spring already. He's already in the 80s.
Yeah. Other than it being damn near 90 degrees today, doing just fine.
I heard so many lawnmowers going off. It's crazy.
It's that time. It is that time.
It is.
So in terms of the season, guys, I've noticed you last year when you started. You did a good job on your podcast. Y'all had very unique show logos, illustrations, ideas. You've done a lot of events. You've done a lot of different things we're going to talk about today. So it's cool to showcase you. Appreciate you coming on once again. First off, I guess, do you just all want to introduce yourselves quickly, one by one? And let's just hear your name and just a little bit more about you.
Jackie, you go ahead and start.
Hey, you're so bossy. Well, I think it's hilarious. Just shows all our personality, how each of our little titles are all different. Yep. We couldn't even agree on one to be unified, could we?
I was trying to read them. Even now, I'm still trying to read them. I can't read them.
It just says Horn Forward Podcast. It's just the oddball all the time. I'm Tuno, but I'm a Sita. Jackie. Wait, this way.
Okay.
You got it.
Tell a little bit more about yourself.
Oh God.
She's the planner.
Like the first day of school.
I've been initiated like community planner.
2 truths, 1 lie.
2 shoot. Okay. Oops.
You can cuss. Just watch the F-bombs as well.
Yeah.
Tell people.
Well, I don't know. Like if you're like YouTube, we don't want you to get banned on anything. I mean,
YouTube, just like y'all, my YouTube's kind of lame. Facebook and Twitter is usually where my stuff comes from. YouTube,
nice.
It is what it is. So no worries.
Let me see. What can I say? My second season now. I was never into semi-pro before. This is literally my first team. I only watched NFL. I never watched college. Nothing. Now it's like a whole different story, but still, this is my jam. Like I am fully in it. This year's gonna be different. Like I think our section is going to be rocking it this year. So I'm excited. So that's my spiel.
I like
Next.
Jay.
This guy, I need no introduction. You guys know who I am. I'm the loudmouth of the South. I'm one of the hosts here in the Horns Forward podcast. We also do another show. You guys might be familiar with that one. I do that one with BD. Long time alternative football fan, right? My roots go all the way back to like the San Antonio Force and the San Antonio Riders and the Gunslingers. We've had, some kind of connection with football here in San Antonio for a long time. And what really kind of kicked it off for at least, me and BD anyways, we go back to the San Antonio Commanders days. And, we used to do kind of, live game reporting from that. And that's really what kind of started the podcast bug, if you will. But it wasn't until we met Jorge and Jackie and DJ and really got this thing going where we, had something that kind of uniquely represents us and the San Antonio community. I mean, we are, just a humongous family of football loving fans, but it goes much deeper than that, right? It would be one thing if, we were all hanging out and, talking about football and doing things together that kind of revolved around the Brahmins and everything. But every one of us has gone and hung out with each other, different things. Like Jorge and I have gone and we watched that I believe it was the Canelo match.
Yeah.
Jackie got us tickets to the high school football showcase. BD and I are always hanging out, talking trash to each other. I know Jorge and BD have gone and hung out. Jorge, unfortunately, lost a furry family member a couple of months ago.
Oh no, that's the worst, man. Sorry.
But like we're all there for each other, right? We're all praying for DJ right now, who's got some family stuff going on. We're more than just friends here. We're more than just podcast mates. Like we truly are a family, and that's what I think makes the difference here with this show, is that it's more than just a bunch of people hanging out. Like we genuinely care for each other. We are brothers and sisters in this thing.
That's awesome, man. You can tell the way y'all jive together. It's a good relationship, and you can definitely tell if you watch the show.
Oh yeah, this guy right here.
Me next. All right. Well, everybody.
Because BD's going to say like 3 words. So
I'm an eggplant. There you go.
Yeah. Instead of like I'm Groot, I'm eggplant.
I like that. We're already. There you go, BD. Intro's done for you.
That is
So
I'm gonna make you a shirt like that.
I'm Jorge. I am El Mariachi Brahma. So I am the guy who dresses up as a charro or a mariachi every single game. And yeah, this whole podcast, like Jay was saying, it's incredible how much our relationships have evolved over a year, because over a year ago today, we had just come off of getting embarrassed by the Battlehawks with the overtime rules. But we still didn't really know each other. Like we knew of each other, but really didn't really know each other. And now we talk to each other on a daily basis by choice. So that's, it's like the mantra that we have for this year, for the tailgates, for fans coming to the Alamo Dome and all that, is we don't want it to be just coming to a football game or just getting back together. It's a family reunion at this point. And that's just not just us as a podcast, but us as the Brahmas community. We want it to feel like a family reunion this season.
I like it, man. And your costume and everything. You're one that I noticed first last year, of course, because of all your action, man. You're all up in it.
Yeah.
So in terms of your character, that's what you represent when you go to games, correct? I mean, you're in that caricature, and you're
oh yeah. So I wear the mariachi traje the entire game. It does get a little hot sometimes. But thankfully the Alamo Dome is indoors. So but yeah, no, it's a big part of it is also just cultural representation. San Antonio is such a large Hispanic-based community, and there's a huge underrepresentation of, as far as fans and the players and every aspect between the Hispanic community and the American football community. And I want to try to bridge that gap. I took a lot of inspiration from my fellow Texan, who's also a Green Bay Packers fan, who goes by the name of Senor Cheesehead, who also dresses up as a charro, but does it for the Packers. But yeah, he's actually got the inspiration from him. And then I was like, wait a minute, if we're doing this in San Antonio, how do we not have one of these guys? I was like, all right, I guess that's going to be me. And then, I put myself out there on TikTok, on Instagram, and people took to it. And then before I knew it, by the end of the season, my face was on the mural for the Brahmas in downtown San Antonio. So that was just like, wow,
famous.
Okay, I did not expect that.
I mean, you definitely are one of the well-known characters, I will say, because I remember they featured you on like a reel or something last year, or a promo or something, and that's when it went crazy.
That was in the parking lot. I remember that.
Yep. That's when it went crazy for you. I know things blew up.
I went out with his wife, and we were passing that mural, and I was trying to get her to go put a mustache on him, but he already had one. So
I got one.
Yeah, so we're like, oh, never mind.
Just take his mustache off.
You gotta make it loopy.
Erase it.
Get the curls going.
Yeah.
We'll erase it instead.
Well, BD.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm BD. I'm the newest member of the group. I came on officially 5 months ago, but I was co-hosting so much that they're like, yeah, we might as well just bring you on. So, and like Jay said, I mean,
Come on, Fifth Wheel.
I've been a fan of San Antonio football. I mean, since I was a kid, I was going to Alamo Stadium, seeing the Roughnecks or the Rough Riders and all those teams. So I mean, we've been doing Talons and the original Texans in the CFL and all that stuff. So I love football, and so this is the next team that I'm a huge fan of, and I'm loving the league and everything. So.
And he's a Cowboys fan, so he's not used to winning like we're going to do this season.
Yeah.
So, who here is Cowboys fans and who here is Texans fans? What's the difference here?
So we have two Cowboys fans and two Packers fans.
Wow!
And then DJ
the house divided.
DJ is a Patriots fan. So
Patriots, DJ.
Patriots.
I think I've heard him talking about it on the show before, if I remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yep.
Pride and joy right there.
Gotcha. I'm a Saints fan myself, so we're all off a little bit from each other. That's nice, though.
Yep.
Green Bay, y'all are a little far out, though. Just a little bit.
Just a bit.
Just a tad. Well, appreciate the intros, guys. That wasn't too painless. In terms of some of your community involvement, tell me about that. I know you've done some projects. I know you've done some other things like the fundraiser for raising school supplies. You guys do a lot of tailgating activities as well. Is that correct? You organize a lot of stuff in that end. So just tell me a little bit more about that and what you do in that nature.
So Jackie, that St. PJs, that's all you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I definitely wanted to kind of once the season was over, we were trying to rack our brains. How do we keep the momentum? How do you do this? This is our first time doing this. And how do you do this off season? How can we keep the community together, still put the Brahmas name out there? And community is just something big in general. Just tying the fans, the Brahma fans doing something within their community is just always good as well. So school was already going to be starting. So I said, well, how about, back to school supply? And I got some info from everybody and which organizations that are around here. And I just kind of did my research, and we ended up with St. PJ's. They're local here. They're children's shelter homes that kind of like the halfway house in between them going into foster. And when I talked to them, they were just telling me how in dire need that they were. They're like, school's about to start, and we have nothing for these children. They have so many kids. And then I had a really good friend that owns a beer garden, the Point Park. And her and I had been talking way like during the first season, like we need to do something together. Like she's like, I want to bring the Brahma fan here too. Like it's a really cool place too, really cool place to hang out. They have a bunch of food trucks. So that's what I did. I got it together. I got some other like little vendors to come out. The Point Park, they donated a portion of the proceeds from the beer sales back to St. PJ. So
That's
they
awesome.
not only got so much supplies, they also got a monetary donation. And so I still get letters from them. I literally just got one from them. They still send me thank you, like letters, like physical letters. It's wild. But I did tell them, like, I loved everything about it. This will definitely be something that's going to be yearly for sure. Probably pick a better time frame because it was hot AF. Hot AF.
When was this? August?
Like,
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was
hot.
August. It
I
was
was
warm.
dead.
Hottest
Like,
summer
I
in
was,
the history of literally in the history of San Antonio is the hottest summer.
it was
Y'all were doing the
so- I
Lord's
was
work for
dead.
sure.
Although, I mean, it's
For
kind
real.
of defeats the purpose of having a back to school drive in like January or something, though. So I
True
think we're
story.
just kind of screwed either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either July or August, you know.
Yeah.
Pick your poison.
Just try and find an indoor venue next time.
There you go.
For
How much
but
stuff-
This will definitely happen. Oh man, I can't even remember. I'm OCD. I mean, a lot of you already know this. I'm really OCD. Everything was just so scattered. I literally put everything in piles and I counted it while I was putting it in piles. Like, here are all the notebooks. Here are all the number 2 pencils and highlighters. But I did do a post about it. It was just so much stuff. It filled an entire back of a Tahoe.
Wow.
Boxes and boxes, backpacks. Like, I think just in backpacks, we had like 25 backpacks. It was crazy. It was crazy how the fans and even you, like, I got stuff from Amazon that I just put a little Amazon wish list out because I know people were like, well, can I send you money? I'd rather like them send an Amazon. I didn't want to be in control of money. So I'm like, no, just go off the wish list. It's much easier that way. And I can just, put it down. But yeah, they really showed up. They really did show up. Even if it was for like 5-10 minutes, they came and brought the supplies and then they pieced out. But the best part was we did have my ticketing experience guy and a couple of our people here. They showed up. So the Brahmas did have their own little tent out there also. So they came in, he came out, James Carr, the best. Came out the best. And he came out and he brought kids t-shirts. He brought Brahmas bags. He had all kinds of little Brahmas merch. And people were asking us about the Brahmas that didn't know about it. So it was really cool. It was a really good event for sure.
Yep.
And it also helped
Go
to
ahead.
secure like just confidence in the continuation of the team because San Antonio is such a scarred market with failed football franchises that even those of us who are fans of the Brahmas were like, we don't know if this is going to continue. At this point in August, we're like, we are going to assume that it is, hope for the best. And if it doesn't, well, hey, it was the best 4 or 5 months that we've had like ever. But if not, then, if it does continue, then, hey, we got momentum behind us. So this was a good way to just kind of reassure people that, hey, we're not going anywhere as fans. And as long as the team's around, there's going to be a core group of us that, we'll make sure to keep putting the name out there.
Yep.
Yeah, this stuff was all great to see from me. I'm over here in Mississippi. I don't have any fans here with the UFL. No, not that I know of. But seeing you guys all meet and organize and have these events, and there are a few teams that are similar in this nature. But you guys really, I would say you represent that right here doing things like this. This isn't a get together to have drinks. This was a fundraiser to raise things for a good cause. So that's why I like it, man. It's really cool.
That was just the bonus. I think, hanging out.
Exactly.
I also had like a 360 spin booth there. So we were, there was a lot of fun things. We had karaoke. We had a live musician that night also. So we had things planned around it.
We had two
but yeah.
bozos taking their shirts off.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Shush.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was hot that day.
Man,
Both visually
movie
and
time, huh?
temperature.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like a great time for real. Let me go to the comments, guys. We're getting some comments I want to share. Go back.
Mike brought up a good one here.
Me work it down. I'll work it to him.
That's my mama.
Mama
Hey,
Ruth.
Said y'all are awesome no matter
Love
what you
Mama
do.
Ruth.
Appreciate
I'm ready
you
for my hug,
watching.
Mama Ruth.
Representing. I see. They know who you are. I'll pop that up quick. Rick 8-Bit said, love the energy you all bring.
Appreciate that, Rick.
Thank you.
And XFLMikeG said, my second favorite podcast.
We'll take it.
We
Wow.
used to be his first. He's lying. We used to be his first, and then y'all became friends or whatever. That's
Yeah.
okay. We know the truth.
Yep.
I don't know.
all.
I think when he comments on our show, he says we're the first. I think he's jumping
Y'all
back
are
and
like
forth there
three.
depending on who he's listening to.
I
Yeah,
bet you he
he's-
tells y'all's Canadian friends that too. Y'all my favorite show.
Yeah.
No, that's his favorite
Okay.
Canadian show. That's his
Yeah.
favorite Canadian.
You know,
You're
and
his
I,
Wait till
favorite
he has
Brahmas.
one- wait till
I
he-
couldn't
wait till
couldn't
he
make
has
out all the
some
comments
Mama.
on Jorge's Spanish broadcast, but I'm pretty sure he said in there that that
Oh,
was
yeah, I was about
his
to say
favorite as
that.
well.
Wow. That's his
Favorite
favorite Spanish
Spanish podcast.
Brahmas
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
That's what he had to say.
Busted.
Mike just playing them numbers, man.
That's
Said
right.
Matt gets it.
Was it the
Oh,
old
man.
Always Sunny? I'm always playing both sides, so I always come out on top.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bet.
for sure.
Let's go Ruth again. Let me hit Ruth again. Since that we got to
Oh,
show
Mama.
our respect
Ooh.
there. Go Cowboys. I'm not a
Period.
Cowboys
Right.
She's
fan,
the
but
reason I am a Cowboys fan. She's the reason.
a lot of my fan base
Mama.
is Texas folks, so I'm sure they're yipping and yaying right along.
You
with
don't
me.
say nothing about my mama. You let her love the Cowboys.
Exactly. I agree.
She can love the Cowboys all day long.
Mark Nelson from UFL Board said Brahmas fans are a cool bunch.
Well,
I
thank you.
appreciate that.
We,
Mark.
we
Yeah.
are.
Appreciate that,
You
Mark.
got to come
We
down
try.
and tailgate with us too.
No, he's in
Yep.
Canada, so if he does, you'll definitely see him.
Hey,
He'll
free,
enjoy the drive.
free tacos and free beers for you, Mark. I'm telling you right now. Just
There
look
we
for the
go.
sombrero.
Actually, last season we did have Canadians. Remember, they tried elote for the first time. So
That's
if they
right.
could do it,
Did they
you
like
can
it?
do it. Yeah.
Did they like
Yeah.
it?
Yes. You would be
That's cool.
surprised. I taught
I don't know how you couldn't.
people how to make
I mean,
elote.
Some folks are just weird, man, when it comes to food. They like the basics.
Oh, dude, there's no way you could not like
Amplified.
Yeah.
Amplified.
If I come down there, I hope y'all show me some good food. Please do.
Oh.
Please,
Calm
please.
down,
Oh,
man.
come on.
Yeah, you're
Let's
gonna.
go.
I would say, but when you come, make sure you have a Planet Fitness membership already lined up, ready to go, because you're gonna go back a couple pounds heavier, man.
There's no other way to do it at a tailgate. No
Yep.
other way to do it, for real. Vanessa, I was showing pictures. She said, that's me. Hey, that's me.
My
Hey,
best
that's
friend.
me.
Hey,
Yeah.
bestie.
Is that who was in this picture? Hold on.
We're
Right.
together.
Yeah, one of the school supply drive picks.
Is this one?
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
she's my partner in crime.
Yep.
Appreciate
That's
you
my
watching,
bestie.
Vanessa.
Love you.
And then XFL Mike G said, I don't think any other team / podcast did more this offseason than Horns Forward podcast.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And not even just for our community, right? Like we did the back to school drive, right? We also did the Kinetic Kids
Trunk or treat.
trunk or treat event.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We also did the event in
St. Louis.
Houston.
St. Louis.
Autism
We also did
Speak.
the event in Houston.
Yep.
Mhm.
We've tried to do our very best to give back to support this community because it means so much to us. Brian alluded to it before. Jorge's mentioned it before on our show. You know, for some of us seasoned veterans that have been around and seen leagues come and go, the AAF, the World League, things like that, this means something to us. San Antonio is very much a blue collar community, right? We're hardworking individuals. We just don't really have that kind of corporate sponsorship to afford, you know, a true blue NFL team. And we don't really necessarily want one, right? But this is something that we can get behind. And so it means a lot to us to be able to give back to support this league because it's given so much to us, right? It's given us a reason to hang out and get together and start podcasts like this. I'm sure you've probably noticed, but San Antonio is kind of leading the way when it comes to podcasts supporting their UFL teams. We've got 10 different podcasts now that are coming out of San Antonio. No other fan base has nearly as many fans getting excited about this and getting behind their team and trying to share their love with other people. This means something to us. So for us to go and do an event, whether it be, in our own backyard here in San Antonio, or driving up to Houston to support the Roughnecks fans, or even, going to, the Birdcage in St. Louis and helping those guys out, right? This means something to us. This gives us an opportunity to give back and support and make sure that it sticks around for years to come, because it means that much to us that we're willing to make those sacrifices.
I respect that, and I'm very much in the same state of mind as you, just different subjects, but all the same, and I feel very similar. It's like, this is what we do to support, and at this point, I feel like it's my job as well. I'm sure you guys feel the same at this point. I mean, you are the face of those Brahmas. You are part of the fan superpower of the Brahmas, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome.
I mean, Moose said that at the gathering, they recognize that every city has their own little core group of fans that have kind of kept this machine going, and without those groups, it'd be hard to really get this thing to grow.
100%. You saw that really propel that XFL 2020, in my opinion. That fan involvement was huge. There. The community engagement, I mean, it was off the chain. And they're doing a much better job this year so far, I'd say, than what they did last year. We've a lot of events, a lot of social media, a lot of different things that we can all be proud of right now. So,
and you guys a lot more media too. Like at least locally, it was very rare that our local media would post a story or something about something with the Brahmas, and now they're posting about the schedule release. They were posting about the kickoff event we had last week. They're all posting stories and running segments on the broadcast. So, it kind of seems like now going into the second year, you can see that there's a little bit more buy-in from the city as well. And, with our news media and stuff. So that's great. And that's really what's needed.
I agree.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, Brian. I actually just saw a flashback. We were talking about memories from last year and everything. And I can't remember the local sportscaster, but last year he was talking about how the Brahmas are coming into town and, something to get excited about and everything. But there was this whole kind of implied, don't get too excited because it's
he named off
last.
He said 10 times the charm at the end of it. And I'm just like, bro, really?
But it's funny how much difference 1 year can make, because that same guy is now out there spreading the love for the Brahmas and everything. And I get that. I mean, that's part of sports media, right? Yeah. That, you're going to put your own little spin on things, and you're going to try and get people to listen to what you're saying, right? But it's just kind of nice to know that a year ago they were like, hey, don't get too complacent, right? Because it may not be around. And then here we are for year number 2, and we're already taking the league by storm. So I love that.
You guys got a good coach that way now to really lead that team in media. Media loves him. I covered Houston last year, and I'll tell you that the media loves some Wade. So you should have a good presence this year. Just show up. As long as y'all come out and kick some ass, you're going to have a lot to talk about your way, no doubt. That's my opinion.
Wade said he was going to.
We'll still be talking. So
yeah. Wade at the kickoff event was surprisingly very, very candid and very excited. I mean, we know that Wade Phillips has been around football for 1,000 years, right? But this,
we'll talk about our coach that way.
That was a compliment. Okay,
he is a veteran.
He is a veteran of veterans.
Dude, he's got more years coaching than every other UFL coach combined, probably.
How many years total do you guys know?
It was 60,
143 or something.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Truth be told, in professional careers, I think it was like 63 professional years coaching. And
that's like dog years, versus human years, and
yeah.
You need to stop.
But not only does he have a better winning record than every other coach in the UFL, he also has a Super Bowl ring. There is another cat out there in the UFL that has a Super Bowl ring. Okay. So are we a little bit biased? 100%, right? Because Coach Phillips did coach the Cowboys for a little while. He even had some funny comments about that. But he comes from football pedigree. You know, we all know his connection, his dad's connection to football.
Son of
Phillips' connection, rather, to football. This cat knows the game, and he's bringing that super focused defensive mind to San Antonio, who already had arguably the number 3 defense in the league last year. So this year, pretty sure, his own words, we're going to be kicking some ass, and this league is ours for the taking. So mark it down. 2024 UFL champions, the San Antonio Brahmas. Boom. Said it.
While we're on that subject, Bill said go boats.
Hey, I got something for Bill.
Motorboats.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Bill,
I can't be afraid of something that I go right on for fun in the summertime. I'm sorry.
Well, didn't like in the showboats, isn't that like there's like a kids show that features them or something like that? Like, I mean, I'm not going to be intimidated by a bath toy. So sorry.
Yeah. We're not scared of the dinghies.
Yes.
The defending football show said, "Watch out for DC week 1."
Time.
I mean,
we're ready to send you guys back with your loss and your beer steak. Step on snake.
Yeah.
Step on snake, baby.
Step on snake.
Let's go.
there's a reason they have to have a shield because they're afraid of the bull coming their way.
Yup.
Right.
Yup.
Hey guys, in the comments, if you're asking questions, I'm highlighting them, and then I'll check them there at the end. I'll ask some questions to the guys on the show, just letting everyone know because we're getting a few questions. I don't want to interrupt the convo.
So do me a favor, just don't put that one comment up from Jason Spurgeon because that guy has absolutely no clue what he's talking about. I think he's a little bit high on the bird poop fumes. Don't even give him credit. Just ignore him for the rest of the show.
A little too much.
Y'all are crazy. At least you have fun. That's the good thing.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
So you're feeling pretty confident about the merger, I guess. You guys survived. You got your team. You ready to roll? I mean, pretty good right now amongst the Horns Forward crew.
Good. I think we're ready for the games to start. You know, we had the kickoff event last week, and I mean, I wish we were tailgating and going to a game. Like I don't want to wait another month. I don't want to wait another month for this season to start. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I will say I did find it amusing that at our kickoff event, they specifically said in the instructions, do not tailgate San Antonio fans. And we still did anyways. Like, what are you going to do?
No, we did not. We did not. We had a hydration session.
We did not grill.
Session.
We had a group of friends hanging out in an empty parking spot, and because we were out there in the heat for 2 hours, we had some beverages to quench our thirst.
There you go.
Just say we tailgated. Nobody cares. They knew we were going to do it.
The rules specifically said don't tailgate. We're not rule breakers. Come on now.
Come on, Brian.
All right,
Brian, you know better than that. Come on now. Who's the one who got talked to by security? BD. Let's go. You.
Y'all are gonna get in trouble over there. They're gonna ban you. Then what? You gotta watch from home.
They'll just bring us right back. They can't have a game without us, man.
Oh, Dirty said you guys are gonna go 4-4 with Wade.
I told you don't even acknowledge it.
I had to. It's your boy. I had to.
Meanwhile, we got the next Orlando coming up with Becht. Okay, cool.
Yep.
I'm ready for that game. I am ready.
Yep. Didn't St. Louis have to con their quarterback to come back? I mean, like I really don't want to hear anything dirty. Just go away.
Oh Lord.
Michael Mendez said, "Let's go Brahmas." What's up, fam?
Let's go, baby. Let's go. So yeah, the event obviously was a lot of fun. We're excited about the league. We're excited about the teams that made it. I'm glad to see that the UFL took the Houston Roughnecks fans into consideration and made the choice that they did. I do feel bad for, some of the Gamblers fans that maybe lost out on their team and some of the other stop. Some of the other fans like Vegas and Orlando and stuff, Seattle kind of losing their teams. But I have to be excited about the fact that, they've solidified the core. This should be, the money-making opportunity that they need to be able to see if this is viable or not, which I truly believe it will be. And then we can start talking about expansions from there. Once they figure out the finances and get it running like a well-oiled machine that it's supposed to, then they can start looking at growth opportunities elsewhere. Potentially maybe moving back up into the New York area, or maybe moving, further west, Salt Lake City. Jorge and Jackie and Brian and I have talked about that several times. Maybe even, if they can figure out the workman's comp rules, maybe San Diego gets a team, right? But for right now, the fact that they had to make the tough choices that they did, and this is what they came up with, shows their focus on trying to make this truly a viable spring league and making it stick around for a long time. And I'm excited for that.
The only unfortunate thing I have to add to that is that we're still stuck with the Arlington Renegades. I wish they were gone.
Oh, Lord. But we love our Bandito brothers.
We
so-
do love our Banditos.
They're fine, but their team ain't.
Hey, Brian, what's that stadium that they play in Arlington?
Oh, that's good old Cocktail Stadium right there.
This is not. No, sir. No,
I was
sir.
funny story about the name of Choctaw Stadium. When I got there, I had no idea, right? So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. They named the stadium after a tribe. Like, that's really cool because it's not in use anymore. And then come to find out it's named after a casino. And I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Like, and it's a casino in Oklahoma, mind you.
Yep. I know where that's at too.
Like
for a
200
fact.
miles north.
And I'm just like, so this wasn't to honor a tribe. This was just a sponsorship from a casino. I'm like, that's a very Dallas thing to do. I'm not surprised.
Yep.
It's always about the money.
Yep.
But have a casino sponsor a stadium in a state where gambling's not allowed.
Exactly.
That's what we had a comment here. Gambling is banned in Houston. Rough them up.
You gotta take the showboat to New Orleans if you want to go gamble.
Truth.
Hey, the defending football show said wide right.
Yep.
Yo, hey, but here's the thing: the defenders, based off of records, should not have even get that close. I'm just saying, when you're about to lose the game and you're 2 feet away from losing a game to arguably the second worst team in the league after losing to the worst team in the league, yo. Come on. Like I said, Shields are kind of not holding up pretty good there towards the end of the season. So
any given Sunday, baby.
Yeah,
that's
And
right.
then to go and get beat in the championship game by the team that was only there because that kick was wide right.
exactly.
100%.
Oh yeah. Defenders,
So you
don't embarrass me because I'm cheering for y'all at the championship game. I got booed unanimously in the Alamo Dome when they showed me on the Jumbotron holding my anti-Renegade sign because of course everyone's cheering for the Renegades because they're a Texas team. I'm still not, right? And so I'm there like backing the Defenders fans. They're my homies, and then all of them just gave me crickets, and I'm like, yo. Where y'all at? I'm helping y'all out. You know?
If they were winning at the time, they would have been right there with you, sir.
Oh, man. You know what? Jay and I we were sitting next to each other for the championship game, and dude, the Defenders fans sucked. Like, just
Unfortunately, they
weren't
did.
cheering.
It was
They
bad.
weren't, third down coming in, they weren't making noise. Like, we're standing up, we're cheering. I'm like, we're trying to get the rest of the crowd going. It was. I turned around. I was like, "Dude, you guys suck as fans. All right, y'all deserve to lose."
I mean the Alamo Dome is much different than where they're used to playing at, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is
smaller. They're all closer. It's easy to be louder, but still, I mean, they travel a long ways.
They did. I give, and I you know what? They are my second favorite fan base. I will tell them. They know how to party and have a good time.
They just don't know how to cheer their football team on.
Truth. Well, And again, right, in all fairness, I think they all pretty much expected that to be a solid win on their part, and were just flabbergasted when Bob Stoops actually won a game, right?
Big game, Bob.
Yeah.
There's no way he wins playoff games, and he did. So I would have been pretty surprised myself. Although I think I would have been a little bit more vocal about it and expressing my displeasure in the fact that my team is getting beat by a South Oklahoma team, in powder blue, no less. But that's okay. That's okay. This is a new season, right?
Season, new league.
Yep. Hashtag revenge season, because San Antonio's coming back. Everybody's on official notice, right? You new teams to our neighborhood, that's fine. Get comfortable. We'll come and deal with you soon. But St. Louis, DC, the Powder Blue Boys, and the Battle Chickens, you're all on notice, right? We're coming back. We're ready for you.
Do you have nicknames for every team?
Oh, yeah.
We do.
This is what we do, man.
I love it. It's a step out from what I do. I kind of step on the outside and I walk around it. You guys are just in it. I love it. I love it.
It's no fun being on the outside, man.
I like to watch. I get great entertainment from this. Believe me.
He's like, fight.
There you go. Cluck, cluck is the law. But just like the Brahma Bull that we represent, man, we just go head first, dude. We're not worried. We're not worried.
Oh, yeah. Kenneth said cluck, cluck is the law.
Yep.
The
KFC Battle Dome. Yeah, some deep fried battle chicken. Let's go.
A little layer of dust over it. Yeah.
Although I did hear that somebody was donating some Swiffers and some dust mops. They're going to try and clean that place up a little bit because the championship game is going to be there. So,
dude, I'm going to buy stock in Swiffer then, because the amount of them they're going to need,
that's true.
Up.
That's true.
Did you guys make a game last year in St. Louis? Any of y'all?
I did.
How was it? Did you enjoy it?
Once I got my Lysol wipes out and cleaned my chair down and everything, and I had my N74 mask on, whatever. There you go, N95. Because it was a little bit dusty, and I mean there were a lot of feathers and used dirty newspapers and stuff at the bottom of the cage.
He thought there was a fireworks show at the beginning of the game. That was just everybody sitting down and disturbing all the dust going in the air.
All the feathers and everything flying up. No, we actually we went to the St. Louis home opener against Arlington, and of course I cheered against Arlington because I mean, what else am I going to do? Their stadium is not bad, right? I mean, it's the same home that the Rams used to play in and everything like that. But it is a little bit weathered and outdated. I'm not going to lie, and the St. Louis fans will tell you the same thing, right? They've been playing on that turf for about 300 years. I think Lewis and Clark brought it with them originally. It's just a little bit old and tattered. Lewis and Clark were the explorers that in case anybody didn't know that.
He's not giving history lesson.
Yeah. But it's a little bit the stadium's a little bit old and dated. It's like an older version of the Alamo Dome. And so I'm very excited hearing that they are going to be replacing the turf this year. I've heard that they've also done
next year.
I thought that was this year.
Season,
no, it's after the season. So
it's in the summer.
Yeah. Oh, well, good luck
this year, but after the season.
Yeah. But I've heard that they're going to be doing some major improvements there. LED lighting, things like that. St. Louis itself is not a bad place, right? A lot of fun can be had, especially for us, touring football fans. There's a lot of cool stuff that can be done in St. Louis while we're waiting for the game and stuff like that. So I am excited that the championship game will be being played in St. Louis, and their facilities, while maybe not as modern and spacious as San Antonio's, is still a viable product, right? It's going to be some good football on TV, so it should be a good time for everybody.
Have they announced that officially? Has that been announced officially?
I don't think officially, but
I think it'll happen. Most likely, it should. But
yeah.
We'll see. You know how it goes with the UFL stuff. Until that official word hits the ground,
True.
Things be a changing all the time.
Don't be spreading no rumors.
The one thing that I think that, apart from that, okay, it was already in San Antonio, so we don't want to do it there again. But they're the only other ones with a dome. So rain or shine, like they can have the game. Whereas at the other stadiums, if there's a thunderstorm and it floods and you have your championship game, people aren't going to want to show up,
Yeah, summertime, It's going to be hot everywhere at this point. So
exactly.
Yeah, and having a June game outside in Houston, no thanks.
Nope, I'm good. I'll pass. Last year when I went to the championship, I was sweating just walking into the stadium.
And that was nice weather for us.
It was nice and overcast and cool. Yeah. That I didn't realize where I was going, so I got dropped off on the opposite side.
Oh no!
Yeah, and you had to go over the bridge and come back around and do all that good stuff. Yeah, guys. I'm glad you're excited for the season, Jay. I am too. I've been to St. Louis for a game back during 2020. I went to 2 or 3 different games, and man, it was a good time. It was packed to the house. But I will say, like bathrooms and such, it was tight. I remember facilities were running overboard because so many people were going. It was not a bad time, but another 10,000 people. That would have been a little questionable at that point. But it was a good time in terms of fans, fan atmosphere, players, everything. The whole city is lit up then, especially because you'll have Cardinal season going on there. Mm-hmm. So St. Louis folks love some Cardinals. I mean, that's their pride and joy for the most part.
Well, that and the Blues, but the Blues have kind of been irrelevant lately. So
exactly,
that's
and that's the fun part about. Now St. Louis being in our division is now we get one home and one away each season. So, it's we'll get to go up there during the regular season. And, I mean, championship as well. But, there's a lot of new stadiums and new cities that we're going to be visiting this year to go to these games.
I'm going to try to as well. I really am. It's just, I don't know, man. You start traveling every weekend. It gets hard to do a podcast. I don't know about you guys.
That's why we do ours during the week, man.
We're doing it together. But we're doing it together, though.
Yeah.
So.
We may be podcasting from the road.
Do it on your phone.
Like we're literally doing a road trip to Memphis, all of us.
Yep.
We already got our tickets, our Airbnb. We driving up for the game, the first away game.
I'll be in Memphis as well. So.
Hey.
With the second week, I should be there in Memphis, and then I'm.
That's when we're gonna be there in Memphis second week.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good. We'll meet up for sure.
We need to link up.
Yeah, come see us.
Definitely. Yeah, we got.
That's we have the whole afternoon.
Look for the sombrero.
Oh, you can see it in Memphis. There aren't many sombreros in Memphis. Unless you go to like the Mexican restaurant and they sing you happy birthday. That's when they put a sombrero on you.
I kind of want to go now and be like, hey, it's my birthday, but like, what are you going to put on my head?
Hey, there's one down here me and my girlfriend we went to. This is in Mississippi. They'll put the hat on you. And somebody comes up behind you and they put a plate of whipped cream right there on the table. Somebody just slams your head down into it.
Mordida. Yep.
Good times. Good
Mexican tradition right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They probably put the sombrero on you backwards, so.
Probably
sure.
So.
It'll probably have a little plastic tugboat on it to represent the tugboats there in Memphis.
Since we're talking about Spanish, guys, tell me about the new Spanish-speaking show you got, Vamos Brahmas Podcast.
Oh, yeah. So, take it away. The shirt is just a coincidence.
I was wondering, man.
Yeah.
I was like, are you featured now?
Yeah. So, that like, we named the broadcast because with the podcast, we didn't know what to call it, but I was like, I don't know, Vamos Brahmas. Like, why not? And then I saw the shirt and I was like, hey, that's a coincidence. All right. I know they had been using it as a hashtag or whatever, but it really is a podcast that is, it's 100% in Spanish. It is geared towards the Hispanic Latin American community because one of the things that we have that, other fan bases, I don't think they can say this, but we do have people that cross the border on a weekly basis to come to Brahmas games. And my co-host is one of those people who comes all the way from Piedras Negras, Mexico, crosses the border, drives 2 hours into San Antonio, and we're really trying to reach not just the Spanish language community in San Antonio and throughout South Texas, but we're also trying to extend our reach into northern Mexico as far down as Monterrey. I mean, Monterrey itself, I mean, it's about as big as LA, you know, and it is a hotbed for American football talent. But the thing is that nobody's talking to them. Nobody is speaking to them. And we want to get it to a point to where, and, you know, we're starting this very grassroots, very, you know, just we're putting the show out there, and we want it to get to the point where we have so many fans that come from Mexico and from the Spanish speaking community that they feel welcomed in the Alamo Dome, that the NFL comes knocking on the UFL's door and says, hey, like, how did you guys do that? 'Cause I know they're trying to get the reach down there, but you know, other than the Cowboys and the 49ers, they really haven't had much success, but they also don't really do the outreach in the way that resonates with the community. And when you have your own people doing it, you know, it makes a difference. As you can tell, you know, I love my Brahma's beer, and every show, you know, I'm always drinking one, but it's really what it's all about, is just reaching out to another audience, to a Spanish language audience that, you know, we are fortunate enough to where we're bilingual. We can speak Spanish, we can speak English, and no matter the language barrier, you know, we want everyone to come out and feel welcomed in San Antonio. And, you know, last year, I think the fans that traveled the furthest, I met some fans that came from Guadalajara, which is a long way from San Antonio. I mean, that's not driving distance, that's flying distance. And they saw me in the mariachi suit, and they were just surprised to see the culture represented in a sport that is called American football, you know. And it really was like, I mean, it's kind of like I want to take the culture, put it on my back, and kind of be the flag bearer for that. So that everyone can come out and really we can pack the dome, not just with people from San Antonio, but from people from all over South Texas and northern Mexico.
I love it. I think that's a great cause, dude. Seriously. These people need that as well. And you having people watch it, I see your numbers, so that means people want it. So
yeah, I mean, it's an underserved community, and it's all because they just don't have anyone talking to them in their language.
Just that culture needs to be represented by that culture, and that's what you're doing, and that's awesome, man. You can't replicate that kind of stuff. That's something that comes natural, and I don't understand being an American citizen. I've never even been to Mexico, but you know, seeing that you guys get excited and how you do things differently, it makes me happy as a fan to see that that's welcomed. It's appreciated as well.
Oh yeah, I like to say that, like, we've had a lot of our people that don't speak Spanish, they were on doing their hardest, Google translating questions to ask, because they just wanted to be a part of it and support it. So even our non-Spanish speaking people are joining in just to give the support. So it's been nice, even if it's just been one show.
So like that, I don't speak Spanish. My wife does. So she was watching on her phone. She was kind of translating me what they were saying. And then she was asking questions about what they were talking about, and then I was answering her. So
I wish I had that. That's awesome. Built-in translator.
Yeah.
That's what I am for my wife. So
I tried to watch some of it as well, but I don't understand any of it.
I mean, I figured.
I know you guys were drinking a lot, though.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. I mean, that's part of the vibe, man. Is just, you know, we go out. It's almost what we called it. It's like we want to make sure that it feels like you're at a backyard barbecue or a carne asada, what we call it, at a friend's house, and just talking football over a couple beers and waiting for the meat to be done on the grill. That's really what it comes down to.
John Green said my Google Translate was on point.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, he was one of the ones asking questions.
Yep.
That's the Bravo Bull right there.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
And XFLMikeG said, I can order a beer and get in a fight. That's all I can do in Spanish.
I got you, Mike G. Right there.
I hope y'all don't hate people for saying Spanish words wrong, because I will butcher the shit
I
out
crack
of
up
some
inside.
stuff.
Well, that's what
no.
When my wife and I first started, when we first started dating, she asked me, she's like, "Do you know any Spanish?" I'm like, I worked construction for 10 years. I can order food and I can cuss you out in Spanish. That was about what I knew.
What a romantic way to court your wife. I can curse you out.
Yeah.
Well, if you knew his wife, I mean, it's not that much of a stretch. So
she taught me some new ones, so
yeah.
We
She's
have
tough
a bad
as hell,
habit in
man.
our chat is like throwing in like Spanish words, so we'll purposely make sure, because there's a few, like especially DJ, like, what does that mean? So we have to teach him those Spanish things, like, or put just a little, this is what it means, because we know he's gonna ask. So
Hey, that's a good way to learn right there. Seriously.
oh yeah, he's trying. He's been trying his little Spanish, busting it out every once in a while.
I feel like if you're gonna learn it, it's that situation right there that's gonna help you out. Everybody around you is kind of helping you prop you up.
There you go.
Yeah. Immersion makes a big difference when you're trying to learn a language, man. So knowing that you've got people surrounding you to help you out and teach you different ways to say things and understand it, it makes a huge difference.
Oh, no doubt. I don't know personally, but I respect for y'all that do it. Seriously. So I added you guys. You guys are now partnered up with AFN. So congratulations. Welcome in another show from you guys. I added you to the site. Good to go. I'll be updating that when I can. Now, I'll tell you, like I told Jackie, if you guys can make a playlist, it'll be awesome.
Well, somebody was supposed to be working on that, and
that way it doesn't have to be updated. But either way, I'll update it. It just might not be as quick as what you drop episode. It may take me a day to update. So
yeah,
no worries. But yeah, dude, I got you guys on here. I'm glad that you are offering this. I think it will be utilized, and it's just about getting the word out now, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's going to be huge for the Spanish culture here in South Texas and down into Mexico, right? Because as Jorge said, right, there's this whole kind of untapped market of people that love the game of football, but don't really have a connection to it, right? Because there's nobody in the community kind of serving them. And so the Brahmas podcast is a wonderful way for these folks to find something to connect with this. And like Jorge said, right, that whole kind of backyard feel, you're just hanging out, having a beer, talking football with your buddies, right? This is going to draw in so many people, and it's going to make a huge difference for our fan base and potentially even others, right? As the UFL expands potentially, if we push, further kind of southwest, there may be other opportunities out there. Because there are other, towns, south of the border that, would probably travel north to come watch a football game. Probably not to, Vegas necessarily, but, maybe somewhere in New Mexico or Arizona or something like that. Right. So, the potential here is huge. And so it really is cool that Jorge and Tavo, I believe. Yeah, are really kind of jumping on that and tapping into that now, because there are going to be humongous eyes on the UFL watching these guys and seeing how they try and build that fan base. And I think Jackie has something because she's doing the she's doing the SAJ finger. Yep.
It's my turn, sir. No, I do want to give a shout out to our Brahma social media team, because they are doing their hardest and their best at incorporating the Spanish in. So I really
obviously with the shirt.
I just appreciate that they're even attempting and trying to incorporate that, because we didn't have that last season at all, and they definitely know the market they're missing out on. So we're doing what we can.
I mean, the schedule job with the Loteria, that was really cool.
100% what I was going to say.
Cultural significance.
It was so different.
Yes.
And then even bringing out like our schedule with the different Loteria cards was on point.
That's what's going to get the buy-in, man. That's what's going to get new fan buy-in and then keep you guys engaged and excited. So I love it as well. It's like they're actually trying. That's what I love.
Yes.
And
You know,
one of the things that Havo and I touched on in the podcast is that one of the things that drew him in to want to keep coming back was that he's like, compare it to like an NFL game. It's like if you can go to a Dallas Cowboys game or a Houston Texans game or whatever team you like. They said, what are the odds, unless you live in that community, that you will run into the same exact people over and over again at a tailgate or at the game, and the UFL is still at a point where that community feeling is still there, because I didn't know Howell last year, and then he came up to me because he saw me wearing the sombrero and I was giving out tacos, and he started talking Spanish and I started talking Spanish, and then it just kind of went from there. And then he showed up the next game with more friends, and then where he lives is where my family tree starts. And so I found out that his wife's maiden name is the same as mine. And I was like, oh, we might be related somehow. And then so little small world, I'm just like, yeah, dude, I don't know you, but you probably married a distant cousin of mine. Just letting you know that. So,
that's awesome.
I mean, that's just how it is. But the fact that he was able to come back and still find the same core group of people that he knew were gonna be there, and we're there week after week, and it's just like, that's what helps build the community. Even though he was traveling 2 hours and crossing a border, as with other people, like they knew there was going to be people there. And same thing with even players' families. Like I'll mention our kicker Parker Romo. His parents came to every game, and by the middle of the season, they knew, look for the sombrero because he's gonna be there to give us food and beer. And so I was able to make really good relationship with them, and it just, the level of access, and I hope that this continues with the UFL, is that we have the same level of access to the players and just like that bond with them. Because I feel like you go to a bigger, like the NFL, for example, and like if you get close enough to smell their fart, you're gonna get tackled and arrested by security. Like
quite different.
Not the fart.
Like,
no, thank you.
Like,
yeah, I think we're gonna pass on that one.
no, I'm just saying, if you get close enough and you can smell it, you're going to jail. That's what
I mean, some of those guys
not
are big
appealing
enough.
to
You
me.
could probably do that quite easily, depending.
Probably crap dusty.
That's a whole different kind of S talking than what was mentioned earlier.
Yes.
When I went to the Saints games, that as media, and I was around the players freely, no security. You're not a fan at that point. It was quite different. I will say quite different. Even from the UFL experience, it still was business at that point. Whereas a lot of the UFL stuff, as media, you can walk in after the game and have a whole conversation with a guy like we're talking right now. Very, very good that's close and easy to access for even the fans and people that aren't waiting, background in the background, waiting for whatever interview possible. Hey, we got a comment from Enoch. He said, Dak doesn't mean QB in Spanish. Jorge told me.
That's true.
Bahawk one.
That's absolutely correct.
And then he said, Parker Romo is Michael Peters and Brahma Babe's favorite player from last year.
I don't know about that.
Jorge's the founder of the Parker Romo fan club.
As a Packers fan, I own a Parker Romo Lions jersey, even though he didn't make the team. I have a Parker Romo jersey for the Lions in my closet. And I was willing to bend my fandom for that, or not even fandom, ownership, because I'm an owner in the Green Bay Packers.
Gotcha, an owner. He's official.
After buying a Lions jersey, they might have revoked it.
Yeah, I have my share also, and I didn't buy a Parker Romo jersey because we just don't. I get Jorge's love for Parker Romo. But I'm not buying an opponent's jersey. I'm sorry. Like, I hate Detroit so much. I would never buy I don't care who it is. I'm not doing it.
Ballhawk one said Packers only cut cheese.
And that's where you get tackled and arrested in the NFL. You know, that's what I'm saying. I was just talking about that.
I love it. I love it. So, in terms of your show and you guys in general, I mean, that about wraps up getting to know you. But do you guys have any plans this season or anything unique coming up that you plan on doing with your show or community engagement in general?
Oh yeah,
I love it.
So you want me to? I guess I'll take it since I started.
You could drop a couple of hints.
Do what you do.
So step
Drop some
one.
nuggets.
So we are definitely looking for or trying to secure some tailgating sponsors to make our tailgates like a real big party, you know, a real big community gathering event. So that's in the works right now. It may be difficult the first game only because it's Easter Sunday and we understand, you know, people got religious commitments that day. So that's, you know, different thing. But outside of that, all the other games minus the Mother's Day game, that's an away game anyway. You know, they're all free and clear. And so we want to make it big. We like Jackie had mentioned earlier, we are, as a podcast, going to be going to Memphis and driving up there and attending that game in person. And really, I think most of us are going to be attending both home and away games, every single game. I know I'm going to have to miss one because I'm going to be on a dumb boat with Mickey Mouse, but you know, it is what I apologize to my friends.
We're going to bring a cutout. We already told you we're going to bring him a cutout.
Yeah.
He's
I love
going to be
it.
there in spirit.
That's awesome.
But it'll be a good time, and you know, we're really looking forward. Like I'm really looking forward to going to DC more than anything because I made so many friends with them last year. Like win or lose, I know it's going to be a fun time in DC. Adding to the beer snake, I want to put a sombrero on top of the beer snake once it gets to the very top. And then in St. Louis, I've never been to St. Louis personally, so I have no idea what to expect other than that they have an arch there. The only other arches I've seen are McDonald's. So.
Yeah, they never finished the other part of the arch, right? There's supposed to be the golden arches.
But yeah, I am looking forward to experiencing what it's like to be at a St. Louis game as an away fan for my team. And representing there. So that's going to be really interesting. Like I said, the only game that I'm unfortunately going to be missing out on is Houston, me personally. But for our other fans, Jackie is coordinating. We are coordinating charter buses for fans to travel together, sit together, both to Houston at Rice Stadium and the unfortunate displeasure of having to go to Arlington to Choctaw Stadium and watch them there. So
you almost said it.
Yeah, you almost did.
but we are organizing the you know, caravans to get as many fans possible, because last year we did that to go to Arlington and we maybe were about 100 strong there. And the attendance figures that they reported were about 10,000, but everyone from, you know, fans on the opposite end of the stadium to players on the field said you guys were the loudest ones in there. So the fact that
you can hear it on the broadcast, like
100 Brahmas fans
cheering were way louder than the South Oklahomies cheering.
Like how we were louder than 9,900 Renegades fans. Well, first of all, that doesn't surprise me. But second of all, like that's also incredible. And we also, from what I was told from like team and league officials, that kind of cemented our status as the Brahmas are the fans that have traveled. Like they're the fan base they're a traveling fan base. So like they are anticipating to have a good contingent of fans of San Antonio at every game because we're known to travel already.
Yep.
It's a yellow.
Mm-hmm. Well, whatever you guys cook up, let me know. I'll spread the word as much as possible as well on my end, for sure.
Well, we appreciate that.
Appreciate he's going to miss one. I'm going to have to miss one, but I mean, Horns Forward Podcast, we're going to be well represented at the away game. So,
yep.
I like it. That's what I want to hear. I mean, I don't know. When it comes to shows, your show, I will say this, not 100% mean this. There's probably 3 shows that I'll watch, and your guys is one.
Wow, well, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you.
A lot of shows, it's the same shit over and over again, and a lot of unnecessary speculation or talking about the same news. I like the way you guys present your information and your showmanship, just how you hold yourselves. So,
that's one thing we actively, we try. We're not going to get into speculation. We weren't going to talk about rumors. It was because we didn't want to be one of those shows that just, every time there was a rumor dropped, we would spend 20 minutes on it.
yeah.
We were only going to talk about what was official and, what was actually going to happen. So,
And
Right.
we also didn't want to spend too much time talking X's and O's because that's for the players and coaches to talk about. The fans, we can all be Monday morning quarterbacks, armchair quarterbacks, but what's most fun is talking about the experiences that we had as fans at the game and just bringing the community together to give them a platform to do so. And so that's been a big thing that was a big kind of pivoting point for our show when we decided to start it. It's like, let's stay away from the X's and O's. Everyone talks about X's and O's. Let's not do that because other people already did that for us.
Yeah. I like it. It's tough. There's a tough line where you can't. I hate to tell people what to think. So presenting information, sometimes it's like, I'm not going to tell you my opinion and say that's right. That's
Right.
just not how we do things. And, so appreciate that from you guys that you are in the same aspects. And like I said, what you do is authentic. People can't really copy y'all style in any way, shape, or form. And I'll say that for sure.
Well, I appreciate it. I will say, though, the only opinion that is accurate is that the Renegades are probably like the gum of the shoe of the league. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
You're going to piss some of the Renegades fans off for sure.
Well, while Jorge's still taking his shots, while Jorge's still taking his shots at the Renegades, we all know St. Louis is owned by San Antonio, so it's perfectly fine, right? We got them twice this year.
It's
We're
like
gonna whoop them twice. It's all about the Brahmas, baby.
and if
it starts here first.
If they want to say that, then we'll just say, oh, in that case, I heard Stan Kroenke might want to buy into the team, and that'll set them off.
Yeah, that gets them going.
That I am not looking forward to hearing when we go there.
Oh, it's awesome when you go to those games and they're just bashing him in so many different forms. There's so many different.
Or just like, dude, that's like
horrible.
a girlfriend from like 25 years ago, dude. Get over it.
I loved it. It gives them something to unite around, and that's okay. It's not anyone involved with the UFL, so it's not. It's definitely a little toxic, but hey, as long as it's not
little
like a coach. I was a Battlehawk fan back in the day, so I mean I can level with them a little bit in terms of how that feels because I grew up in Missouri for part of my life, and then I felt like that was my team. Now we're in a whole different realm of living, but anyway.
Yeah, you grew up and you let go of that toxic relationship that they can't seem to let go 30 years later. God bless.
Hey, Ballhawk Wynn said he's got season tickets in Arlington if you need one, Jorge.
Hey, man, if I run out of toilet paper, I know who to call then.
Wow. Wow.
Big gun.
Well, there'll be plenty of newspaper on the floor at the birdcage, so you can use some of that too.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So
Plenty of feathers.
Yep. Be nice and soft.
Let's talk about some UFL stuff before we go, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you guys went to what was your event called? Was it called a town hall?
Just a fan fest.
Fan fest. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you went to the fan fest. How in y'all's opinion, how was that? I mean, from being a fan in, I guess, media, what do you think?
Oh, it was a blast. I mean, it got me hyped up for the season. That's what, like I was saying earlier, I was ready to go. I was ready for it to start.
Yeah.
And I will say the pictures that are out on social media are very misleading as far as attendance goes, because you look at what they put and you can't capture the thing is we had the entire field surface of the Alamo Dome to fill, which you can't really do, unless you had, a concert going on. But I think the count was about it was over 1,000 the people that attended.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was close to about 1,200 people that attended. But the pictures don't do it justice. So I mean, it was a big success. There was a lot of excitement from the kids all the way to the adults. Even we had a couple of players that were local to San Antonio that are on the Brahmas roster currently that were in attendance. So we had some players there. It was just a great way. And like for me, for my son, I spoiled him because I can't even take him to a high school football game in Texas without him complaining like, this isn't the Alamo Dome. Okay. And so, cause he did that to me last year and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, son. And so he keeps asking me like every time we drive by it, like, Dad, when are we going back to go watch? He calls the Brahmas Horns Forward. So he's like, when are we going to go watch Horns Forward? When are we going to go watch Horns Forward? And when my wife took him, cause they showed up a little bit after, he was wearing, that was the first time he wore a new Brahmas shirt that I had got him. That was long sleeves, a little chilly that day. And he didn't want to take it off. He was super excited he was wearing it. He was running all around the Alamo Dome. And he had another thing that he had to go to, but he did not want to leave because he was so happy being in that environment. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's 4 years old. And from that age all the way to the adults, the excitement was just, you could feel it just being in there.
It looked like one of the most successful events they had in terms of people coming, but who knows, from pictures, you can't really make too good of assumptions. They didn't release numbers.
So I'm glad you brought that up because that's something that BD and I talked about a little while ago. The social media is very misleading, right? Nobody's really talking about the numbers and then the pictures, such as like Houston's event. You can kind of guess based on the pictures that they showed. They probably had about 150, 200 people there, all season ticket holders. It was not open to the public. There was only very limited invite of people that could be there, right? Our event was open to the public. It wasn't just season ticket holders. It was open to everybody. And obviously we had, really good numbers. Our social media pictures, like Jorge said, do not do it justice. But for example, Michigan had their event and they had 12 pictures essentially of the mascot and of the coaching team.
Yeah, five of them were of the mascot and like one fan next to him. So
I haven't seen too many pictures from that either.
Right. They showed none of the fans there, and I know there had to have been fans there. So the way they're kind of spinning that is a little bit misleading. I think our event was very well represented, but I think some of the other events were very well represented as well. And like St. Louis, to my knowledge, still hasn't had their event yet. Arlington will be having theirs this week, which is, again, only open to season ticket holders. So
of course they shut out the public in Arlington.
Well, I mean, 'cause nobody's going to show up anyways. But
so horrible.
We are. We're a little bit horrible.
Let's go. Good Lord.
But as far as that aspect,
see what I got to deal with.
Yeah, we're always just bagging on somebody. But it's hard to ascertain what kind of traction, that some of these other places are getting, because again, they're not really showing all the information like they did for our event, for example. So I have to believe that, the UFL knows what they're doing. They're reaching out to the right people. They're pushing in those marketplaces. We've seen the customized commercials in several of the marketplaces. San Antonio has not had theirs. We don't have a specific commercial for the UFL like St. Louis does, or I believe Houston does, things like that. We know that they're targeting specific things in specific ways. So I have to believe that, again, the UFL knows what they're doing. They're tapping in, the right way this time. And they are getting a lot of traction there with these events. Like, again, the San Antonio one was perfect. You had over 1,000 people there. As Jorge said, we're excited. We're jazzed. We're fired up for the season. Heck, even Wade Phillips was excited, which is weird, because it's Wade Phillips. He doesn't get excited about anything.
Oh, he gets excited. Believe me. I've seen it firsthand.
Well, he definitely was. And he said that he was going to do some things to some of these other teams that, this is a family-friendly show, and I don't know what all words I can repeat, but, that's why I said, the rest of the league, you're on notice.
Wade Listen,
Oh, Wade said we're gonna kick their ass. All right.
Yep.
I got the interview you did. I'll pull it up while you were talking. We won't have any sound, but you got the interview, Wade, Jay.
I did actually, and that's thanks to Jorge not being there.
I had to go do dad things, of course.
Yeah. So
I got
originally-
blamed for it too.
Yeah, originally the way we were going to do it was that Jorge was going to sit down and interview him because I was feeling a little bit off that day, right? And then Jorge had to jump. He had to go do some family things, and we fully support that, right? Family's always going to come first.
Yes, sir.
And so Jackie turns to me and she's like, "All right, Jay, you're up." And I was like, "I'm up? What? No, I'm standing up. Yeah, I'm fine. Like I haven't fallen over
Where's
yet
the mic at?
or anything."
Here's the questions.
Yeah, and so she 100% put me on the spot. And now keep in mind, here's the part that you need to know, right? That all the viewers need to know also. BD and I are notorious for being the trash talkers of the team, right? So
Made it even more funnier.
We showed absolutely no love and no mercy to Wade Phillips when he came out and was representing the Houston Roughnecks. We gave it to him both barrels. And then here I am a year later, sitting down less than 3 feet from him, and I've got to interview him and pretend like we're super excited that he's here as our head coach. Now, I will say we actually are truly excited that he's our head coach because, again, football pedigree. I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. And no offense to what's his name? Hines Ward or Joey Porter or any of that. Any of the staff that Hines Ward brought along. But this is a coach's coach. This is a professional.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the things, in fact, you hear me talk about it in the interview when Coach Phillips is talking about developing these players' character, not just their athletic ability, but their character to get them ready to make that transition into the big leagues, right? I mean, we're talking about kids that are on the cusp of making millions of dollars a year for playing a sport, things that most of us will never be able to relate to. So it's important that you have someone like Wade Phillips. Make sure that he's mentoring these guys, not just to be professional athletes, but to be professional people, right? So they don't get into trouble and, buy $18 million worth of Nike shoes and then, have no money 6 months from now. Or that, they understand that the windfalls that have come in their life have been because of their athletic prowess, but that can only last for so long. And so they have to respect that and make sure that they're making plans for when they can no longer perform at that level, whether it be injury or just, talent fading or whatever, right? That just the fact that Phillips is taking the time to mentor these young men to actually be men it absolutely blew me away. Right. So that I thought was probably the biggest takeaway from the interview. And then of course our blooper reel where Jackie was making fun of me about putting my hands on Coach.
It was all funny. If you haven't watched that and you're watching the show, check that out real quick, please. It's a good one to watch, especially if you're a Browns
Not too
fan.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, short and sweet, nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm. And again, like I said, I mean, it's one thing, to sit down and do an interview and talk to somebody and just kind of go through the motions and whatever. But to talk to somebody like Wade Phillips and to see that genuine passion and involvement and like his genuine care about the product that he's getting ready to put on the field and everything, it was pretty inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely gets the buy-in from his players because of that. You can tell he really cares. And you'll see that as the season unfolds. You'll see him after press conferences, how he holds himself, whether it be a win or a loss. Very humble, respectable man, Coach Phillips, no doubt.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite things about him. I mean, he is who he is, and that's it. It is great things. We miss men like that in society. We really need more because they really make a huge difference in the youth and people that are troubled and everything. So I think you guys, you're sitting pretty over there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, and pretty much every one of us here can talk about the importance of, a mentor in our lives in some way, shape, or form through youth sports, right? Whether it be, Jorge, played all the way up through college and even, you know, I'm going to reveal some of his secrets. He did play some arena ball, right?
Well, I almost did until the league folded.
Well, okay. But the point is, like, every one of us can speak to that. And I think it's extremely important, especially for these young men, like some of the guys that we met at the combine and stuff like that, for them to be able to have that influential person, that mentor in their life to help them make that transition, whether it be from, you know, arena ball to UFL, or maybe to, like, you know, over to the CFL or something. And eventually, you know, hopefully to the NFL where everybody wants to be, right? But some kind of mentor along the way, coaching them from, you know, when they're high school ball players, and teaching them the importance of, you know, community involvement and being a good person and, you know, being a team player and, you know, doing things that are bigger than themselves, and then coaching that up into college and preparing these, you know, young men to be actual men, right? Like, young men and women need that kind of mentorship in their lives. If, you know, if we're going to truly, you know, be a society that, you know, kind of grows together and cares together, and you'll have to excuse my co-host who just jumped up on my lap here. But, you know, if we're going to make that difference in society, we need people like Wade Phillips to be reaching out to these young men and women at a very young and influential age to make them the best that they possibly can be. So again, blown away that Wade Phillips cares that much to help try and grow true men of society here.
Agreed. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm jealous as being a former Roughneck fan. I'm neutral this year, so I'm just playing the field.
Nice.
After they took away the guts of my team, I'm just gonna hang out and enjoy everybody else's fandom and go UFL. So I got a couple more points, guys, and then we'll hop off. We've been on for like an hour and a half, so pretty good combo though. It's nice, and we're not pulling teeth over here. So training camp started Saturday. You guys are all aware, right?
Right.
What are you thinking so far? Mostly, I see from the social media aspect, we're getting a lot of good content coming out of training camp already, and nothing's really going on. They're just getting fitted, and, you know,
it's just onboarding.
Yep, it's all the pre-step.
Not even training yet.
Go ahead.
I was say I think one of the big things that I'm really impressed with is that they're coming up with original content. They're coming out with UFL content. They're not having to rely on, hey, what is Destroying doing today? What is Destroying having for lunch today? You know, this is like, no, this is a team. You know, this is the league. You know, he's just a part of it, but, you know, he's not it, you know. I get that he's got a huge following and a huge social media presence, but I really am enjoying that they're incorporating everybody and not just focusing on a few, like, what's AJ McCarron doing today? What's he wearing today? You know, and that kind of stuff. So, you know, I like that they're focusing on everybody and not just the high profile people.
Agreed. Yes. It's not all just silliness either. There's some actual good content coming out.
Right.
There is some silliness, but you got to have a little bit of fun when you do that stuff. But compared to last year, I think they're already smoking the preseason out of the water already.
Oh yeah. So let me ask you guys this though, because there was something mentioned by Moose at our presser that we had.
And how did I know you were going to do this?
If he didn't mention it, I was gonna.
Because we have to. I think it's important. There was an open invitation basically given to come to Arlington and watch some of the preseason training camps. Is the UFL actually going to follow through with that? Because I'm hearing some conflicting information in regards to that. So are the training camps open? Are we going to actually be able to go there and maybe catch some of these players doing their warm-ups and running routes and doing things like that? Or is this going to be closed to the public?
You know what?
The answer is no.
What Moose said, it was a verbal contract, legally binding in Texas, so we should all be able to go.
Bring the video.
Yep, bring the video.
So. You're head of football.
Let's let the security guard tell us we can't get it. Be like, this guy outranks you. Let us in.
Yep.
Kenneth said he said that in Memphis as well.
So I mean that's
true. Yep.
That's something that I think they need to probably kind of like the whole don't tailgate at the San Antonio event. They probably got to put something out there for the fans, because I would hate for someone to show up and be like, yeah, I got tackled by security and arrested for showing up to training camp.
Yeah. So
it's different how each city's doing their media stuff this year, I know. So, last year it was the XFL crew, and that's who was doing it. Well, now you got a mix of the XFL and USFL, and everybody kind of does their things different with each city.
mhm.
And even on my end, communicating with everybody, everybody's got something different. It's really good and bad at the same time. But I'm glad that they're taking some pride in this thing and doing whatever the city personality and culture needs for that place. In terms of that event, man, I would keep contacting them and see if you can go. If you don't hear, then that's a definite no.
The answer is no.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
hear
we
I already
did,
told y'all.
Yeah, we already did try to contact and
Yeah.
we're told no. So anyone in Memphis, who I saw someone from Memphis, they were saying that he mentioned that don't go to Arlington and try to go watch training camp because you won't get in.
Yeah.
The answer is no. Like,
Not this year, guys. Sorry.
Even though Moose said so, we already asked and they said no. So
Yep.
Moose don't know. Moose don't know.
Well, he does know, but I think he was a little too excited in the moment.
Yeah,
Maybe spoke a little bit when he shouldn't have.
I bet you they just don't want to deal with the public watching you. I bet there's stuff going on that we just aren't aware of that they're going to be doing and trying and implementing. And I bet that's a part of it. And,
yeah. Well, and
it's
then
their first season together. Like, give them some time.
Right. How big of a distraction is it going to be for, folks like us to be there? Pardon me. Cheering for our team, cheering for our players and stuff like that. Kind of
trash talking the other teams,
Yeah, trash talking.
See, that's probably why they're trying to get on
me and Brian. Me and Brian ruined it.
They're like, nope, that was a mistake.
Look,
if you wouldn't have had the tailgate, it'd have been okay.
Yep.
They said no, they're gonna get too rowdy. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't let this guy into the Renegades practice.
Yep.
I think for this, I'm okay with them saying no, because at the end of the day, these guys are all trying to get on a team, and any distraction is a bad distraction. But for when the teams are finalized, like, come on.
Yeah, we just want good football. So I'm agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't mind this portion of it not being open to us, but maybe practices in the future, they can just let us peek a little.
Would be nice.
We'll see.
Sure.
Just putting it out there. Gonna manifest it a little bit. I'll work on it, y'all.
I bet you it's gonna be a rowdy, training camp though. With all those teams close and everybody kind of interacting. Once the pads put on and people start actually laying some licks, it's gonna be similar to preseason the NFL.
It's be a fly on the wall for these.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
That's always fun. I love the NFL, the preseason, the training camp fights, because it's just these guys are just really passionate because they're the ones that are on the bubble and they're trying to literally fight for a spot. So I love seeing that in the NFL, and I'd love to see that for the UFL as well.
Yeah,
I mean, these guys are fighting for a spot as well, man. That's what I was going to lead to is, each team, they're starting with 75 and they're going to have to cut it down to 50 come season. Yep. So it's a fight. It's going to be a fist fight for some of these guys.
Yeah, it's going to be.
And we got some good people like fighting for certain positions too. So, like I said, there'll be a fly on the wall watching them.
Yeah. And then there's AJ McCarron also.
Don't hate.
I said what I said.
I think we had a question earlier. They said who's going to be San Antonio's quarterback. We'll get to that though. We'll get to that. So guys, in terms of like big names on your team, give me a couple that you're really looking forward to seeing play, and don't say destroying.
Yeah, I was like, everyone's gonna say destroying.
Don't say that.
Dormady?
I'm looking forward to the reconnection of Dormady and Latimer. They did really well in Orlando. Now they're in Houston together, or in San Antonio together, and I think seeing that connection again is going to be awesome. Yeah. And on the defensive side of the ball, me personally, Drew Beasley on our as an edge rusher I am excited to see what he's going to do this year.
Yep. And where was he at last year? Was he?
He was with us. He was with us.
With you?
Yeah.
I almost said Renegades, but I know you'd get upset, so I didn't.
How dare you?
I know Jackie's excited to see a certain player.
Big Mike, Oos Juice.
Some Oos
and
Juice?
Mike. Some Oos Juice, my OG guys, the ones that are coming back from the team last season. I'm excited to see them. Jordan Williams and Big Mike Brown for sure.
Yeah, Mike Brown, love that man.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, like Jorge said, I'm excited for Beasley. And you know, we had a lot of our defensive kind of core defensive players are coming back, and you know, we had the Scott brothers both back, but you know, one of them didn't make the cut to training camp. But we still got one of them. But yeah. I'm you know, as good as our defense was last year, and then bringing, you know, Wade into the mix with the defensive pedigree that he's got. I'm super excited to see what our defense is going to be. And then our offensive coordinator, AJ Smith, you know, what he did with Houston last year, you know, what he can do with the Brahmas this year. So,
yep. Jay Will's another good one. I'm excited for the local connection that we have to some of the players here, right? Obviously, Dormady played. I believe he was in Bernie. I think
he was in Bernie.
We've got a couple of kids from UTSA. We've got some kids from UIW. Just the fact that, you know, I'm going to take a shot here, right? Sorry, not sorry.
No.
Ward specifically said last year that he was going to try and build on that local connection, right? And didn't have a single player from San Antonio on the squad. Now, he had some kids from Texas, but he did not have anybody from San Antonio. In comes Wade Phillips, and we've got 6-7 kids already, you know? I think that's going to be huge. Now, I would have loved to have seen Agent Zero on the roster here. Agent Zero is Frank.
He's retired, though.
Yeah, he was the quarterback of UTSA, played for 7 years there. He would have been a phenomenal connection for the San Antonio Brahmas, except for the fact that this is he just played his 7th and last season with UTSA and just had his 12th surgery. So he's pretty much done playing football. This poor kid has laid everything on the line and has taken a lot of beating. So I get it. I have a sneaking suspicion that they are going to find ways to keep him connected, whether it be to the Brahmas or to UTSA football here. But because he is kind of a staple in UTSA football, he will have some kind of role somewhere in the organization.
He is working for the UTSA football organization.
Okay. And then he, from what I've heard, there's some interest in getting him connected with the Brahmas organization as well, if nothing else for training opportunities, right? For coaching, stuff like that. So that's going to be huge for our program just because of that name recognition, and people are going to gravitate to that. But again, the local kid connection, to see these kids, you know, struggle and fight and claw their way to get to where they're at, and then be able to bring it home and represent to their family and friends again, right? Before hopefully potentially them making the next step.
But it's also bringing all of those new fans that were fans of them, watching them in college.
Giving some buy-in for sure.
Yeah.
That's needed for that culture. And I agree. I mean, it's awesome. And I didn't even think about it in that nature, but it makes sense when you say it. And you can tell if you've been pondering on it, you're not the first either. There's probably others that have discussed that same subject. Oh, yeah. No, there's plenty. In fact, at the Fan Fest, there were a bunch of fans that were talking about it, how there's going to be, well, in fact, one of the kids from UTSA was there at the Fan Fest. So again, one of the local kids, right? And that's going to draw. So the UTSA football program here is kind of its own unique little, you know, subculture, if you will. And some of the people cross over, but not everybody crosses over. Well, now that you've got some UTSA kids that are going to be in the San Antonio Brahmas organization, some of those fans will potentially start coming over. Brian, it's your buddy. You need to talk to your boy, man.
Hi, friend.
But
surprised mine hasn't been around yelling.
Yeah,
Mine's
Brian's co-host will come in and yell on our shows every now and then.
I remember when y'all were on my show.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the funnest thing. But yeah, so again, I mean, you've got that local connection that's going to draw a lot more fans in. And I think that our fan base is going to be much better for it. So last year, you know, we had numbers in, you know, the high teens, low 20s. I'm thinking this year we're easily going to be, you know, pulling probably high 20s, maybe even low 30s and growing exponentially from there. So I'm excited for that.
I love it. Paul said he's coming in from Florida and he's got a beer this time.
Oh, nice.
Well, we got to get you some Brahma beers. What we need to get
Hey,
you.
Linda.
Yes.
Where is Play Linda Beach, guys? Do you know that? What is that? Is that North or South Florida, Paul? I'm curious. Florida?
I don't. I've been to Orlando and Miami. And that's kind of it.
Well, guys, let's answer a few questions. How about that?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do it.
Let's go with this first one. I like this one. Michael said, who will be our QB1? I'm going to let you guys hash this out however you think best. Because
I think it's going to be Dormady.
Likewise.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I don't know. Because we've got some other potential candidates in training camp right now that we don't necessarily know a whole bunch about. We know what we're getting with Dormady, and chances are probably he's going to blow their doors off. But what if he doesn't? What if we have a better option, right? Yeah. We already know that Dormady played for San Antonio last year, even though he wasn't officially on the roster, right? We appreciate the work that he did for us in getting us that playbook. That was a lot of fun.
He's on our side now, man.
He was on our side the whole year.
Double agent, baby. We'll take it. But yeah, I mean, you know, I think there's going to be some pretty good quarterback battles, and I really, you know,
Tom Flacco,
mm-hmm.
Chase Garbers.
Yeah, I mean,
we've got a fourth one. I can't remember who it was.
I think they got cut. One of the quarterback got. Well, it was Jack Cohn was the fourth one. He got cut.
Yeah, it's just them three.
Okay,
yeah, they're down to 3.
Okay,
yeah. They should keep all 3 of them. Then they shouldn't be getting rid of anyone else.
They shouldn't. But
who's starting? We'll see.
Right. Who stands out in training camp? But I think Dormady's got the edge on everybody because he's got the, you know, probably arguably the most UFL experience.
And he's got chemistry with you know,
with Latimer,
and all that.
Right.
I don't see them keeping all 3 with just a 50-man roster. I don't see them keeping a third quarterback.
They're supposed to have a third quarterback for backup on the roster, so they will keep one.
2 on the field and 1 in an emergency.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just who's starting. That's the question. But I think you guys are all correct in your assumptions. That why else would you go out and get Cody? That makes plenty of sense.
Exactly.
Well, because he was a badass tight end for one. I mean,
he is a badass. He's probably a badass in real life too.
Yeah.
Judging from the way he holds himself.
I wish we also would have gotten Charleston Rambo just because he's got the cool name.
Yeah.
True.
And, I mean, also he played with Quentin Normandy as well. But I mean, just having a Rambo on the team just makes me feel like, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It's not a good enough reason.
Jan's got a question. He says, does it scare the hell out of you looking at the add drop list of your team? I mean, I knew Wade would put a stamp on the team, but my God, the turnover.
No.
Actually, no.
Really.
I was excited.
I think it's better than last year.
Definitely. I mean, our team is greatly improved from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are a couple on there, like the Scott brother who was cut, like that were like, oof, that hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
But I know
Nick Hawley.
Nick Hawley, another one. I mean, I think Jay was crying for like a week about that.
I would too, dude.
Getting a new jersey made right now.
But
No.
I think a lot of that
from a homie.
And I hate to say it because, you know, I wanted to support the guy, but, you know, he just was not a fan favorite. You know, Jack Cohn, when he got cut, a lot of people were you know, pretty happy about that, you know.
Frank Cohn.
And, you know, I wanted him to do well. He showed signs of greatness there towards the end of last season. But I know throughout the entirety of the season, he was inconsistent, and so that was something that I think overshadowed a lot of the other cuts, as people were looking to see what was going to happen with the Jack Cohn name, and they saw him cut, and everyone's like, "All right, we're good. Whatever happens, happens. Now we're good with whatever happens."
Yep.
A lot of it surrounded him, to be honest.
This is my opinion from last year. When I saw the roster of the Brahmas last year, it kind of gave me the vibes of like someone who's playing fantasy football that didn't know how to draft correctly.
That would be me.
Auto
draft.
So this year, you can tell where it's going. You can see the structure of what we're going to do, what you're going to do. I'm sorry. And you can see what they're going to attack. I mean, with AJ Smith and Peyton Pardee, you guys are going to have a high-powered offense, and they'll find somebody to work it for sure.
Yeah.
I
think what you were saying, that was last year was the draft of a coach who didn't really know what he was doing versus a coach that's got 40 years in coaching.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is we had a new coach that was trying to coach.
Yep.
He treated it like a fantasy football team, and it didn't work out that way.
He had a good showmanship game, though. I mean, the team looked. I mean, when he talked, he's a really good talker.
Oh yeah.
Talking going to get very far. Let me tell you, damn that glitter.
Glitter's a son of a bitch, man.
Glitter's a pain.
Nobody likes glitter secretly.
So just to kind of to that, we had an event in San Antonio. They announced like kind of a premium Lone Star Club, a seating option for some businesses and stuff like that. And the coach was supposed to be there. Heinz Ward coach was supposed to be there. And so we all show up, we get there, and they show him up on the video board, on Teams. And
he zoomed in.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, sorry, I'd like to be there, but my kids wanted to decorate for Christmas." And he lives in Houston, and like I totally get not wanting to make that drive for a 30-minute event or whatever, but you got to come up with a better excuse than decorating for Christmas.
There's glitter everywhere.
Glitter was on the fly. Yeah. Glitter's a pain. He's probably still trying to sweep it up. Like I don't blame the guy. I would have.
Glad y'all explained that. That's a good one. I like that. That's a good inside joke that I would never know if you wouldn't have told me.
It was horrible. We all looked at each other and were like, "Are you serious? Come on, man."
No, he did not.
Come on, do better.
Like I told
do better, Coach.
I wouldn't want to make that drive either for that bit. I've made that drive, and it sucks.
Not when you're already checked out as coach. Yeah, you're not going to want to make that drive.
Period. Thank you.
Hey, Paul, I appreciate you sharing. Paul said he shared the show tonight to a group on Facebook. Appreciate you, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
He also said that he was 50 miles from Orlando.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I feel like that's already in the water.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't Orlando on the water? So 50 miles east would be like Cuba?
That area is a lot bigger than you think, for sure.
I guess. I don't know. I've been to Orlando and I've been to Miami, and I passed through both of them. So
he totally got 100 in geography.
What do I know? Well, it's because I cheated off of somebody who knew what they were doing. And then I talked trash about him too.
Mike XFL Mike G said, "Can Matt talk about what we're getting in John Trey Kirkland?" Yeah, I mean, this is a shifty, fast receiver with really good hands. He's got a vertical up. He can catch a ball. I mean, you got a solid wide receiver one right here. He can also play special teams, which I'm sure he won't be here. He did get hurt last year, so I'm curious to see how it plays out. But I mean, he was working with AJ Smith and Peyton Pardee last year as well. You saw whenever we had John Trey in Houston, I mean, that was a championship team. And once he went down, it totally shifted the gear there in Houston last year. So keep him healthy, but I guarantee you're going to see this man everywhere come game time. He's going to be one of your best receivers without even any hesitation. I can tell you that. Really good guy, too. If you ever get to meet him, chat with him. I've chatted with him on numerous occasions now. Really humble guy. he had a stint where he played on the practice squad in New Orleans, and that was kind of how I got my in with New Orleans and did some media stuff there. And they don't really give those guys on the practice squad much time to be covered because they want their stars to be covered. But it was a good experience, and I could really see how humble dude was just from that. I mean,
nice.
So excited for you guys that you got him. Houston definitely lost a big piece not having him, no doubt.
Well, he's ours now, so tough luck, Houston.
I do. Yeah. Although I'm glad he said I'm not going to be in the league. I do wish we had Max Borghi.
Yep.
In the backfield, that little bowling ball of a man. Oh my God.
Yep.
He was so frustrating to watch because he would just rumble and tumble over everybody.
Dude's a beast, man. He even looks like it when you see him in real life. He's not the guy that you would talk shit to, for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I don't know why, but I haven't seen a picture of him, but I have a feeling he's got like one of those 1958 like flat top haircuts,
like the military haircut.
Yeah, and just like he's like just straight face, and he will just run over you.
Wow, Dollar Tree McCaffrey, huh?
I'm not putting that comment. I got too much
wow,
respect for Max. I got too much respect for Max. I can't.
Wow.
Do it. So, speaking of the players, I mean, do you guys? We've had more people retire, and this will be the last thing we hit on. Anybody else you thinking may retire before this season actually gets started? You saw Josh Hammond in DC retired. They've already replaced him and with a guy, Kiki. Oh, what's his name? I got it pulled up. Kiki Coty. I can never say names worth of shit.
That's all right.
It was a good try. Good try.
Yeah.
Let's see. Boom. Yeah, but he's a beast. He has a good career in the NFL. I mean, it wasn't special, but he definitely had some time and experience. So, in terms of Brahmas, I mean, are we good? You guys think everybody's going to stick around?
I feel like they're all real young, too. I feel like they will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a lot of players out there that are, up there in age are saying, you know what, maybe. I think the ones that that have already announced their retirement for the Brahmas already, like they said, well, I'm not coming back to the league, stuff like that. Like that window for us has already closed because I feel, especially now with training camp having started, people are showing up. If they didn't show up, then that was kind of their sign. We had Rex Sunahara, the long snapper, come back. Brad Wing, our punter, came back, and just looking based off of how everyone was, like I mentioned earlier, it felt like a family reunion a little bit. And I think the window of, I don't think this is for me anymore has closed. And we won't see that open up again until after the season is done.
I like it. I mean, I hope so as well. We'll see what happens once people start hitting, though.
Yeah, that's true.
The heat is coming. It's not bad, but it's definitely different than wintertime.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's it like in Texas? You guys said it was 80 right now. I mean,
it was like mid to high 80s today, almost 90.
Yeah, I mean, the coldest of the cold is behind us. We're going to get a cold front this week that'll drop us back down to the 50s. You'll wake up, it'll be, 36 for an hour or two in the morning when the sun is just coming up. But then by the time it's noon, you're already, 75.
Yeah.
4 o'clock, you're at 80 degrees. Yeah, so like I don't
turn on my AC last week.
I don't think that. The good thing is that if you were to compare, the Texas Triangle in Houston, San Antonio, and Arlington, as far as the heat goes, I think Arlington has the least worst of it. Not to say that it's not, it's not. Easy to handle. But if you compare it to the heat of Houston, if training camp was in Houston, oh man, good luck to those players because that is training in heat in May even. And Houston is like
mess.
Inhumane, and San Antonio, it really doesn't start to get to that point until like mid-June. Sometimes it starts a little bit early, like May is still bearable. I think the same way in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's, like Jimmy said, there's not as much humidity up in Arlington. But yeah, if you were to do it in Houston, oh man, those players, our linemen would be coming out weighing 240 pounds, like from so much sweat and water weight loss.
Dude, like Houston's like 180% humidity.
Is it that much more south than Arlington? I guess it is. I don't know much about Texas, guys. So
we're about 5 hours.
South and
Gotcha.
east, but it's right on the Gulf Coast.
It's right on the Gulf, so you get all that Gulf humidity, the Gulf moisture, and it's just, and it's everything is with all the concrete there. It's just so compact, and all the heat just stays there. It's like one of those places where if you go under a tree for shade, like you're not doing yourself any favors. You're just getting more like suffocated, like Jimmy says, suffocated with the humidity. It's like
you're just cooking.
Like you'll be cooking, and you got to wear a scuba mask because it's got. I grew up in a similar climate down in the Rio Grande Valley, right off of the coast. I was, 20 miles away from South Padre Island, and so I know what it's like. Training, and when I was playing in high school, for example, in August, in that same type of Houston humidity, it is like there's a reason I can handle 110 degree heat because my body was trained for that so young. But you put me in anything below 70, and I'm like, it's too cold to go outside. Why bother?
100% what DeMarcus said is true.
What did he say? Let's see. Houston is a mosquito swarm with a city underneath.
Yep.
Yep.
Get that off.
It's humid in Houston like it is here in Mississippi, no doubt.
Yeah, you just have soggy butt the whole time.
Yep. No matter what, summers are just awful. You might as well expect to sweat.
Yep. Swamp.
I'm not a fan of flip-flops, but I'll wear them real quick instead of having sweaty feet all the time.
Yep. And that's why we just stay inside, man, in our nice little dome.
Yep.
But yeah, as the weather starts changing here, it's going to start impacting the players. It's going to be a big contributing factor, right? And the thing is that it's going to affect everybody across the board. So, yeah, granted, our players are going to be a little bit more comfortable, but they're going to still be out training in this stuff all week long before the game. Right. Yep. They're just going to have a little bit easier of a game condition. Right. Same thing with St. Louis, but the Stallions, the Showboats, Houston, DC, everybody else. Well, except for Michigan. Michigan will be playing indoors also. But everybody else is going to be playing outdoors, and it's just going to be miserable, and it's going to be just like their training. Right. Yep. So
sweaty times that way. Even if you're doing media, working on the field, doing anything, walking into the game, you're going to be sweating. Come April, May. Well, guys, that's about all I got in terms of questions, talking points, discussion. It's been a really good time. I've really appreciated you coming on. Thought it went well, except for me flubbing up your intro. I really screwed that all up.
That was 2 hours ago. Who remembered that?
That's all good.
I am a perfectionist, sirs and ma'ams. I do what I can, but that's the way it goes. I appreciate it again, man. Y'all are great. I keep doing what you're doing. Keep being like the role models of the Brahmas. The fact that the UFL, they're actually acknowledging you guys as well is big. Take that, run with it, and do better. And like I tell everybody that I deal with or talk to, it's like, hey, you're going to bring us all up by doing your thing. Even if we're not popular, you still bring every podcast, every UFL thought, everything brings up by you being successful with the league and the fans. So keep doing your thing, guys. I'm really proud of what you have accomplished, and just being able to stick a group of people together and meet weekly to have a show is very impressive. It's very, very impressive. So seriously.
That was one of our concerns. It's like, how are we going to do this like consistently and this and that? But, we've been able to pull it off. And throughout the entire time the hatred of the Renegades never went away either. So that's just been like another.
Look,
awesome
and Jimmy
thing.
just gave you a compliment. Great talking point tonight, guys.
Hey,
Remember-
so Jimmy now lives in San Antonio, to be fair. So I know as much as he likes to be with his Renegades, he's got a little bit of yellow going, flowing through his veins now.
Well,
I love it. I love it.
and I'm setting my eyes on a bigger target, in that certain little, deep fried battle chicken dome up in St. Louis. So that's who I'm going after.
Period. No, you know what? I'll say what DJ would say if he was here. It's us against all of
Us
them.
against the world, baby. Us
like
against
it.
the world.
I like it.
There
Oh,
you
There's
go.
DJ. Let's go, baby. Let's
Shade
go.
zone for DJ.
Guys, I'll have all your links on the notes. I've been rolling it too there at the bottom where people can find you. I know a lot of my listeners are from Texas, so if they're not following you, I'm sure they will be now. And hey,
Unless they're Renegades fans.
I mean,
Thanks, Jorge.
it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. And
Yeah.
Yep.
Jorge gonna get us blocked all over again.
you won't, if you do this
Banned.
with St. Louis fans, you will not have any kind of St. Louis listeners, no doubt. I feel like the Renegades, they'll play around a little bit with you as well.
Yeah, no, they're it's all good. I mean, last season we shared a couple of these because they don't have. Well, where is it?
There we go.
Yeah, we shared a couple of these at at their stadium. Thanks, guys, for messing that up for me. We shared a couple of those because they don't have their own beer anymore.
It's not that hard, Jorge. It's Cocktail Stadium. It's not that hard.
so yeah, it's all in good fun. I'm looking forward to seeing them again. Like I said,
I will
family reunion.
reprimand all of them afterwards.
Brian, you better stop that right meow. Okay. Unacceptable.
Look here, Mal.
Right meow?
Anything else, guys, before I let you go and close it out?
As always, horns forward.
Horns forward.
Horns forward,
Yeah,
guy. I'll give you
let's
one for
go.
this, dude. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Renegades still hate you.
I'm glad I'm not a Renegades fan. My God.
He would have never asked us. You're like, no, thank you. Pass.
Whew. It was a good laugh. Thanks, guys. Seriously. Anything else
Man.
before I let you go officially?
Nah,
Just
go.
No, man.
Just be ready to
Thank
watch
you.
the 2
Less
24
than
champions
40
take it.
days away.
Yep.
Yep.
What are we at, 35 now or 34? I think 34, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. I was told there would be no math.
Yes.
I can do math better than I can
Not
read
a strong
certain names
suit.
for sure.
Yep.
Wait a minute, we're taking a test?
No, I don't think
No.
any of us here are capable of doing some math right now.
No. The answer is 2024 UFL champions, San Antonio Brahmas. That's the
Right.
answer.
Oh,
There you go.
2-1-0, baby.
2-1-0. Let's
Take it
go.
easy,
Revenge
guys.
season. Roll it back, baby. Let's go.
Hey, I thank you again for being part of the network as well. It's going real well. So anything
Hey,
you
we
need from
appreciate
me, reach out anytime. You know how to find me, and if you need me,
Yes, sir.
We appreciate
I'm available.
that.
We
guys do your
appreciate it,
thing.
guys. Yo.
I hope. Hey, look, invite me on soon. I'm going to come on your guys' show as well.
All right.
All
For
All right,
sure.
Dan.
Yep.
right,
For sure.
I got
sounds
you.
good. Hey, thanks again, y'all. We'll see you
All
soon.
right.
Let's
See ya, man.
Let's go,
UFL
baby. Let's
Nation.
go.
Take care.
Take it easy, everybody. And there they are. Good show. Appreciate you guys tonight coming on again. Thanks so much. I've been waiting for that show for a while, and I'm glad it went really, really well. Hey, check them out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Horns Forward Podcast. They're easy to find. Give them some love. Follow them, like their stuff. You'll see me sharing it. You can also find them on the website, alternativefootballnetwork.com. Great group, and look forward to what they do in the future with everything they've got. They've got some good material resources. They've got good folks running, and just the overall vibes of their show and their being friends it's something to admire. And hopefully I can find a group like that, the podcast with myself someday, because it'd be fantastic. But yeah, that's it for me. It's been a long show. Jimmy, I see you in the comments, man. What's up, Jimmy? I see you. 34 days. Yep. Gotcha. Seeing if I had any more comments I wanted to hit while I was at it. No, that's it. It's been a good one. I don't have an AFN interview series lined up this week, so if there is something, it'll kind of be last minute. Just check it out. I'll post it and let you know. Our next show is with Mark Nelson and Greg Parks, and that'll be March 5th, which is a Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Check that out. As always, a great guest. They've been on numerous times. Mark Nelson runs UFL Board, and Greg Parks writes for UFL Board, and it's always a good crew and a good conversation with them. Excited for the season. Check out social media. Check out UFL content. There's a lot of good stuff to look at and research and just watch. And don't take anybody's opinion, man. You figure your own opinion out. Check some stuff out and see it. That's kind of why we haven't really hit on power rankings or the best players or the best teams in the conference, because right now it's about the conversation, and everybody's going to have a different opinion, in my opinion, and that's okay, but let's wait until we get some official rosters is all I'm saying. As always, appreciate you watching, guys. Appreciate the support. Shoot me a message if you need anything. It's not too far known for me to talk back to you. Just don't be rude and toxic. I hate that crap. Thank you, UFL Board. Appreciate you as always. Great partners. They've been helping since the beginning. They really got me on board and got me rolling in this thing. And thank the UFL for letting us cover. We're not officially affiliated with the UFL, but they could tell me to stop saying their name and using their logos, and they haven't yet. So thank you for letting me cover UFL. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to keep doing our thing and trying to help out the league. As always, guys, thanks again for watching. Appreciate it. It's been fun, and I'm going to keep rolling on as we go. 34 more days, and we'll have the start of the UFL season 2024. It's going to be intense, so get your tickets if you haven't. Until next time, I'm out of here. Peace out, be safe, and have a good night.
Go hard, go home, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home. Touchdown like an end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, go